Hey everyone, it's Nicole Crozier here, and as a thank you for attending my free training call on the 7 steps to design, market, and run a life coaching business you love, I wanted to give all the people that attended a bonus free training. And I'm hoping that this free training and the workshop downloads that I'm going to include as well will really help you to kind of see the type of stuff that we'll be working on really in depth in the upcoming program, the Ergonomic Life Coach program, which starts on March 14th. So once we've gotten really clear on exactly who you are, what you want, and why you want it, and then we've worked through some of your core business fundamentals, including your ideal client, the next step is to really get clear on your services and programs, including, or most especially, your core, what I call signature program. And I find that this is a fantastic exercise to do, especially if you're having trouble getting really clear on your ideal client and how you really help them. And especially if you're having issues getting clear on your core messages. And usually where you'll find this come up is if you're trying to write copy or get your website together and you just cannot write the copy or figure out what you do. It's usually because you haven't gotten clear on your services and programs, exactly who they're for, how they help people, what your solution is, and that translating into your core messages. So that's what we're going to do today. I will walk you through my 2 worksheets. One is services and programs, and the next one will be branding and messaging. And my goal here today is to kind of show you how you can work through getting super clear on your core program and how that can help you get really clear on your messaging. So we're going to go through this, get clear on the core program, and then I'll show you how that translates into your core messaging. So first, why is it important to really get clear on an actual program? Well, like many life coaches, you may be really tempted to offer generic services such as life coaching or marketing coaching or business coaching. But when you create a more specific package or program, you're much less vague. When you just have those vague services, it makes it super hard for your ideal client to really recognize that your service is for them or understand exactly what your service is and how it's going to help them solve their problems. And it makes it harder to market what you do. So by getting more specific on your packaging and services, you clarify and focus your business, you gain more confidence and clarity in what you specifically do and what you're marketing and selling, and you differentiate yourself. You no longer are one of many life coaches, you are someone who helps your ideal client do this specific thing. And so then when you're marketing to your clients, they will know that your services are for them specifically. They will have a clear vision of exactly what you offer and why they need it. And they will know what to expect and exactly what they're going to get. And they're going to understand how you and your services are unique. So in order to get really clear on what your core program is, and now you can have a bunch of different service offerings, and I'll go through that in a little bit. But the main questions to answer to get clear on your core program are, what is your core program in the first place? Who is your program for? So that's the ideal client for your program. What is the main problem that your program solves for your ideal clients? And what solution does your program provide? So you list out what the problem your ideal client is having and how you solve that problem for them. And here's a really great way to get clear on your program is to outline where your ideal clients are when they start your program and then where they're at when they leave your program. So let's use my Ergonomic Life Coach program as an example right now. So say this is my core program. So my core program would be the Ergonomic Life Coach. And who is my program for? My program is for life coaches who are in the first or second phase of business, life coaches who don't have a strong background in business and marketing and are starting a business for the first time. So when it comes to this program, the main problem that these life coaches have is that they just aren't clear on what exactly they need to do to market and run their business. And they feel like they're kind of left to themselves to figure out all the little pieces and how they all fit together. And so the solution that I provide is a 7-step program that walks newer life coaches through the exact steps they need to take first in order to get clear on their business, create a marketing system that's super simple, and figure out exactly all the things they need to do to run their business. So it's all there, it's all in one place. They don't need to look anywhere else for what they need to do first. So when they start my program, most of these life coaches have probably finished their life coach training program and they're trying a bunch of stuff out in order to get their business out to the world. So they're probably working with a few clients here and there. They've likely tried to set up their website. They've either set it up and are happy with it to a certain extent, but in the most cases, they're either struggling to set up their website or they're not happy with what they've set up. They don't feel super clear on who they're working with or exactly what they're doing, and marketing to them is still a little bit of an enigma. And when these life coaches leave my program, my goal is for them to be super clear on exactly who they are, what they do, who they work with, how they help them. They'll know exactly what their programs and services are, and they'll have a super simple marketing system in place. They'll understand what marketing is at a big picture level, and they'll know exactly the processes that they need to put in place for their business. So ultimately, they'll know the exact steps they need to take to set up their business, and hopefully will have taken most of those steps. But if they haven't, they're going to be ready to implement all of those steps, and they're going to be ready to start marketing their businesses. And then I love the next question. The next question is, what are your ideal client's next steps after your program? So when you leave your ideal client, they're going to be in a place where they're going to be doing other stuff. So what is that stuff going to be? And I love this step because this is an opportunity for you to identify potential referral partners. Because for example, after life coaches are finished with my program, they're going to want to get really clear and set up their website. They're going to really want to activate their marketing system. So a next step for them would be to actually put those things in place. And I know a lot of amazing web designers, a lot of people that can help people set up their social media and their email systems and all that good stuff. So one of my potential referral partners could be someone that could help my ideal client out with the next steps after my program. And that ties into that next question, how do you help them take these next steps, if at all? So my goal is at the end of this program, I'm going to provide a list of resources and steps that people can take after the program so that they can actually get everything activated and going. So the next section is all your program details. So this is how your program is actually going to be delivered. So for example, describe your program in detail. So for me, if I was to do that, I would list out the exact 7 steps that people are going to go through in the program. And then how is the program delivered? So my program is going to be delivered via weekly calls using Zoom, so video calls weekly, but also there's going to be an online education portal that people can access anytime they want to, and a new module is going to be added every week, which is going to include a video with step-by-step instructions on what to do for that section, along with worksheets that everybody can work through. Yeah, so I would say, and then the next question is, what extras does your program include? So my program is going to include free worksheets, free workbooks, videos, an online education portal, a private Facebook group, all of that kind of good stuff. What is the price of your program? The total price of my program is $399. Oh, and I should mention another extra is a bonus 60-minute personal one-on-one personality review session. So that would be included in that extras. How much of my time does it take to deliver the program? Well, for me, it's some upfront time in getting those videos and worksheets together. And then there is the hour and a half weekly delivering the program as the course on Zoom. And likely I would say 2 to 3 hours of preparation time a week and just getting ready for that course. And then some time during the week managing the Facebook groups. So when you really look at what's going on, like there's going to be people sending in emails and asking questions. There's going to be people asking questions in the Facebook group. So you may be inclined to think, well, I'm delivering a course that's an hour a week. That's just an hour of my time. But I think it's really important to really add up all of that time so you can see what value you're really providing to people. And so you can price your program accordingly. And so, for example, with this program, I've priced it at a really low price point this time because it's my first time offering it and I want people to take it. So this is a huge bonus for people taking it for the first time. But going forward, I'm going to take all of that work into account and up that price to a higher level. What technology and tools do you need to deliver your program? That's another great question. So for me, I've identified that I need Zoom so I can do the video calls. I need a WordPress plugin so that I can do the online education portal. I need Acuity so people can schedule and pay for the program. So these are all the things to list out to get you really clear on exactly what you need to set up to deliver your program. What other resources might I need to deliver the program? So you may have guest speakers for your courses, things like that. So just think through anything else you might need in order to deliver your program. And then how much will it cost you to deliver your program? So you've listed out what the price of your program is. You've outlined how much time it's going to take you to deliver the program. How much is it now going to cost you to deliver that program? Like, for example, you have to pay for the technology that you purchase for the program, such as Zoom. There's a monthly fee there. There's a monthly fee for Acuity. There's a monthly fee for your WordPress website. I had to purchase a microphone so that all of my videos sounded amazing. I purchased Camtasia Recording Studio so I could record the videos. All of this stuff goes into the cost of delivering your program. Now, the great thing is that a lot of those costs can be spread out amongst all the other stuff you do. So if that's the case, then you can kind of look at how much it costs overall and then what percentage is applied to your program. But it's important to take a look at how much you're actually paying to deliver the program versus how much you're charging. An interesting story, I worked as a program manager for education and training programs with a local university here. And when I first analyze some of the training programs we were delivering, I realized that our cost to actually deliver some of these training programs, when you paid for the instructor and the curriculum design and all of that kind of stuff, was higher than what we were charging for it. So the more courses we delivered, the more money we lost. So it was actually costing us money to deliver the courses. So that's why this is an important exercise to take. I think a lot of times life coaches, because you're so driven by passion and purpose and helping people, you can get caught up in trying to offer things for a low cost. And if your goal is to keep prices down, that's fantastic. If that's a value for you, that's absolutely amazing. But you need to at least cover your costs for delivering it, unless you're independently wealthy and can support yourself in doing that kind of stuff. So I really recommend going through this exercise. It's very eye-opening. And then the next step is your program messaging. And I'm going to save that for the next worksheet. So we will, what I'm going to do right now is, since we're focused so much on this core program, I'm going to take this core program and move over into the next worksheet so you can see how this directly translates to the messaging you're going to create. So hold on one sec. Okay, so again, just a quick overview of messaging before we get into the specific messaging for the program we just went through. I just wanted to reiterate that a lot of times solopreneurs, life coaches, other solopreneurs with soul don't really take the time to create their core messages. And as a result, it sucks up a huge amount of time and energy. And the reason is because every time you go to do something new, you're recreating the wheel. You're thinking about, oh, what is my messaging? What do I need to say? Over and over and over. So if you take the time up front to create your high level core messages, you can stuff those on your wall, pin them up, look at them every time you need to create a new ad, every time you want to write a letter to someone, every time you want to say to someone what you do or tell someone what you do, you can refer to your core messages on your wall, and it just gives you that jump start so you're not recreating the wheel over and over again. And the other thing that can happen is if you don't create core messages, you're kind of at risk of being super vague in your messages and marketing. And that means that you're not attracting or can even be turning away your ideal clients. So your ideal clients may not recognize that your messages are for them or know how you can help them. Worse, you may be actually sending out the wrong messages entirely and attracting the wrong clients. So if you're spending a lot of time on free mini sessions with people who you just aren't gelling with and you're wondering, why are these people contacting me? What is going on here? It's usually because you've got a wrong message out there. And also, you could have inconsistent, different, or conflicting messages out there that might confuse your ideal client. So if they read about you in one spot and then in another spot and you're not sounding congruent, that may confuse them and even make them wonder what's going on. And then again, you could spend way too much time and energy recreating the wheel. But when you do spend the time up front to really hone your core messages, you will attract more of your ideal clients because they will immediately recognize that you can help them and how. And then you'll be able to access your core messages at any time to use for your marketing, and you won't have to waste time recreating that wheel over and over. And then you'll also have copy and core messages to give to your designers. So your website designer, your copywriters that may be helping you out, or any other support people. So they know exactly how to talk about you. And then your messages and marketing will be consistent and correct. Okay, so what I tend to look at in terms of core messages are, one, your main core messages, which are your internal core statement, and then your talking logo, and then your XYZ statement. So your internal core statement is something that you just use internally for yourself. This is something you don't have to worry about how it really sounds or what people are going to think about it. This is how you describe what you do in total for yourself. And then once you've done that exercise, then you create your talking logo, which is how you describe yourself and what you do to other people when you're talking. And then your XYZ statement, which is the same thing but in print. Okay, so your internal core message. So here are all the things that I ask in order to create the core message, and you're going to see how this directly corresponds to what we just worked on with your programs. So who is your ideal client? So your internal core message is going to go kind of like this. My ideal client is, their main problem is, they've already tried X, Y, and Z to solve their problem, but it hasn't worked. And this is making them feel. So their biggest fears, if they don't find the right solution to this program, are X. And I can help them solve this problem by Y. And as a result, my ideal client will, and then you put in the outcome that they will achieve. So as an example, I've created an internal statement following this format for my Ergonomic Life Coach program. So here is how it goes. And you can kind of see how this corresponds from the work we did on the program side and now the internal statement side. It all flows together. So my ideal client is a professional career woman between 40 and 50. Just a note here. When you talk about your ideal client to yourself, get as specific as you can. If you were able to work with only 2 people right now, who would they be? And this is who my 2 people would likely be. Now, the great thing is when you get super specific on who your ideal client is, people in the periphery of that ideal client will also recognize that your programs and services are for them. So for example, if I'm targeting all of my marketing to a professional career woman who is 45, professional career women who are 55 are likely also going to recognize that I can help them. But if I target any woman in the world with my marketing, then a professional career woman who's 55 likely isn't going to notice that or recognize that my programs and services are for them. So it's almost like the opposite happens when you hone in on your ideal target client. The more narrow you get, the more other people you can attract. The more broad you get, the fewer people you attract. And the funny thing is that when people get too broad in their targeting, the reason they're doing it is because they don't want to exclude anyone. They know that their services can help a bunch of people, and they don't want to get too narrow because then that's going to exclude someone, and they don't want that. But the funny thing is the opposite happens. When you get too broad, nobody recognizes that you can help them or what you have is for them. So they just fly right by your message. But if you get super narrow and targeted, they understand exactly what you're offering and to who, and then they can kind of identify if that's going to work for them as well. They're not going to exclude themselves because you're not going to put out there, I only help women between 40 and 50. It's just that when you're thinking about your marketing and your targeting, that's who you're thinking of. And other people who are in that periphery and that bubble will now recognize you. Okay, so that was a little bit of a soapbox there about ideal client. I know we aren't talking about that today, but I thought that might help you out. Okay, so I'll go through my internal statement. Okay, so my ideal client is a professional career woman, 40 to 50, who is in the process of leaving her soul-sucking job behind and pursuing a more purposeful, meaningful career as a life coach. She does not have a strong background in business marketing or being an entrepreneur, but really wants to make her new career in business as a life coach work. She has finished or is just finishing her life coach training program and is currently trying to build her business and replace the income of her soul-sucking job. She has taken a few courses and tried a bunch of stuff to build and market her business. But she's struggling with building a business that she loves, that will replace her income and not feel like her old soul-sucking job. But it's a lot harder and much more work than she thought. Worse, she feels like she has to figure all of this out herself and there's no one right answer. She's confused, frustrated, and overwhelmed. Her main challenges are getting clear on exactly who she helps and what she does, figuring out how to get clients and market her business, and do all of this in a way that feels fun and right. She sees all these messages about life coaches building a 6-figure business in a year and feels like she should be able to do this too. She's already tried implementing the marketing and business advice from her training program, and she's taking some marketing and business courses like list building, social media, online marketing, or building a 6-figure coaching business in a year course. Her biggest fear is that she will fail, that she won't be able to build a business she loves and replace her income, that she'll have to stay in her soul-sucking career forever. My solution to solve this problem is threefold. First, I offer a free step-by-step guide that outlines exactly how to realistically transition from your old career to a life coaching business that you love. I offer a course, this Ergonomic Entrepreneur course, that gives my ideal client all of the marketing and business basics that a new life coach needs to connect who they are to a business and marketing system they love, all in one spot. And then I offer one-on-one coaching support in navigating the ups and downs of the first few years of business so that these new life coaches can get unstuck, stay on track with building an ergonomic business that is all about who they are and what they want, and keep moving forward. So after my solution, my ideal client will finally feel that she gets all of this business and marketing stuff at a big picture level. She knows who she is, she knows what she really wants, and she's clear on what her business is all about. She has all the basics in place, including a basic marketing system, and feels confident in making the right business and marketing decisions for her business going forward. She is working with some clients and slowly and steadily growing her business. She feels like she will soon be ready for some more advanced marketing concepts like list building, and she will eventually be able to leave her soul-sucking career behind. Okay, so that is my long internal statement, and that's how I translated all of these questions here into an internal statement for myself. So after I do that, then I create what I call my talking logo. And so this is what I'm going to use when I'm in a networking situation to tell people what I do. And so the idea of the talking logo, which by the way was invented by John Jantz of Duct Tape Marketing, and I am a master duct tape marketing consultant, so I'm authorized to use the talking logo. So the idea is that when people at a networking event ask you, what do you do? The idea is that you can provide an answer that provokes a response that continues the conversation. So for example, if you're at a networking event and you ask someone, what do you do? And they say, oh, I'm a life coach. They'll be like, oh, okay, and move on. Or I'm a lawyer. Oh, okay, and move on. You've basically just given them no reason to continue the conversation, and it kind of just shuts it down and goes from there. But if you do something different, so what do you do? So I can say, for example, I help new life coaches finally leave their soul-sucking careers behind. So this is a new life coach that I'm talking to. Likely, they're going to say, oh, okay, how do you do that? And now this gives you an opportunity to describe what you do and get your core difference in there. So for example, I could say, oh, so how do you do that? And I can say, by giving them all the marketing and business basics they need in one spot, along with a 7-step system to connect who they are to a business and marketing system they love. And then you can go on to describe that process. So really the formula is simply, what do you do and how do you do it? And then you can turn this into your XYZ statement. So this is what you can use as a really concise statement in print. And so your XYZ statement basically answers who do you work with? And this is your ideal client. What do you do? And this is your core difference. And how do you do it? And this is your unique process. So for example, with me, who Who do I work with? I work with overwhelmed new life coaches. What do? I help them navigate the ups and downs of the first few years of business so they can connect who they are to businesses they love and finally leave that soul-sucking career behind. How do you do it? I combine my marketing expertise with life coaching, give them all the marketing and business basics they need in one spot, and apply a unique 7-step process. So if I was to boil that down into my XYZ statement, it would become, I combine my business and marketing expertise with life coaching to help frustrated new life coaches navigate the ups and downs of the first few years of business, build businesses they love their way, and finally leave their soul-sucking careers behind. Done. So that's all you do. You answer the questions, who do you work with, what do you do, and how do you do it? So I hope that gave you a little bit of an idea of the type of stuff that we're going to be working on in my Ergonomic Life Coach program. That's just one teeny tiny little section. But my goal is to really help everyone get super clear on everything they're doing and understand how everything fits together, connect all of those dots, and just leave this program knowing exactly what you're doing and why. And so what I'm going to do is give you guys these worksheets that you can read through, and you can use them at your leisure and listen to this video, and hopefully you'll be able to really get clear on what you're offering and how you're going to talk about your programs to other people. So thanks everyone, and I hope you have a fantastic day.